What's up, weirdos? It's your boy Jay Kraft here with another special Universe of Weirdos. Here getting crazy with you. I'm back. Your last chance to evacuate planet Earth before it is recycled. What are we talking about this week? Well, we're brushing off an old classic. We're going with the old FAQ. We're reading your feedback and questions. FAQ, baby. This is a new kind of FAQ, though, because we're not just doing your wrestling with criminals feedback and questions. We're doing all of your universe of weirdos feedback and questions. And I can't even tell you. It's been a wild ride since that transition. Ever since we changed over from wrestling with criminals to universe of weirdos, it's been a little bit weird. We've lost a lot of listeners, but we've picked up a whole batch of new ones, a whole batch of weird ones, and we have some of your feedback, and we have some of your questions. FAQ, baby. That usually translates into FAQ. No, I don't yada you mean. Jacob Fatu, I don't. Try that one more time. Yada mean, I don't. Again, I don't yada you mean. Anyways, guys, this is a one that I like to do where I read your emails and your social media DMs and your different feedbacks, your comments underneath stuff, and it's mainly DMs. It's usually just Twitter DMs, but you can find me on Twitter, jcraft247. Shoot me a DM of anything that you want me to read out on this show, any sort of feedback or question, or you can shoot me an email, planetwnba@gmail.com. That's for this one and for my other Planet W, a WNBA podcast that I do with my brother. But yeah, I mean, we've picked up a lot of new listeners. I appreciate all of those who stayed. I'm shocked by some of those who bailed on me. I had a pretty good rapport working with some of the Wrestling with Criminals audience. And there was one guy in particular, he would send me stuff every now and then. He would be super cool to me, write to me on Twitter almost every day. And now I don't even think he follows me. Like, he was that dead set on, if you're changing formats from not just being a wrestling podcast, then I don't want anything to do with you. And yeah, it's a little bit hurtful, but me and that guy weren't best friends anyways. It was just some stranger I knew from the internet, so what do I care, I guess. My good buddy Tyler, though, he's if my memory recalls, he's 16 years old. He corresponds with me a lot. He says that he's sticking with me even though he pretty much only likes wrestling. He's interested to see what else I come up with and what else I do, because he also liked the FAQ stuff and some of the stuff where I don't necessarily talk about wrestling. So I don't know. I like that. I like that I just kind of snagged you with my personality and now you're along for the ride. He did ask me for some music suggestions. I sent him quite a variety, because he said that he's not too much into music as much as he thinks that he should be. Can't really find any kind of music that he likes, so I sent him a whole bunch of suggestions, and it was just like, land on one of these artists. If you like any of these artists, kind of just stay around their genre, and I think you'll be all right. So, I don't know. I don't know. I think you'd like Tom Waits, though. I think he's pretty good. He makes all kinds of music. He does want to know if there's anything that I want to do on this show that I can't or won't do. Kind of in the same vein of why I brought up the music thing there. I would love to be able to do like a music show, like an hour-long like music podcast where you're just like, all right, here we go, introducing the tracks and all of that shit. But then again, I mean, that's kind of almost hack radio, right? Like, that's FM radio. That's what people listen to podcasts to avoid listening to the, hey, everybody, the traffic report's coming up on the 10s, and we got our weather coming up. It is partly cloudy right now. High of 67 today. We're going to go with Rusty Fender, our traffic reporter. None of that stuff. Here on our 2 for Tuesday, we're about to get the lead out with some Led Zeppelin. Let's hear it. One of those. I went to school for that. Shit. They have you practice that voice, that fucking voice, that broadcasting voice. It's the same voice that people will talk about of like the black guy trying to sound white on the news. It's because he went to broadcasting school and they teach you the region-free accent, where you try to enunciate every word properly and you try to not speak with any sort of discernible accent so nobody can tell where you're from. Because, hey, if you're from Alabama, you might have to work in Alaska someday and maybe the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right, folks. I would be in classes with people that would be trying to practice that voice, like, in today's news, like, that kind of shit. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, I mean, there are some things that I would like to do on here that I can't necessarily because of copyright reasons and shit. Like, I'd like to play like clips of stuff and react to it without getting some sort of like copyright strike or, things like that. But I also, I mean, not really. I can really open myself up to pretty much whatever I want to do as long as I'm not playing other people's copywritten material, other people's songs and stuff. That's why I decided to switch up the format from Wrestling with Criminals to Universe of Weirdos, because I'm still going to do Wrestling with Criminals. I just want to do other things as well. I want to be able to branch off. I want to try a whole bunch of different stuff. I want to try things that, like, I don't know if it'll work. Things that probably won't work. I don't think that top 5 thing that I did with my brother really worked. It was just us just listing stuff. It was just us, Washington Redskins, Patriots, I didn't think that it necessarily worked all that well, but I want to try a whole lot of different things just because I like experimenting. I like having fun. I went to school for broadcasting. I went to school to do this, basically. I went to college to do what anybody who has $150 worth of equipment can do in their fucking garage, which is a little bit embarrassing. But hey, those student loans are paid off, so I ain't worried about it too much. I'm doing all right. We're doing okay, and I'm having fun with doing what I want to do. I will make the AI producer thing work. The AI podcast producer, I'm going to get it to end up suggesting good talking points. We're going to find some way to make an AI producer produce a really solid episode with really good talking points. So far, it's just been mediocre, but I'm working with it. I'm gonna keep going with my little Chat GPT and my. I'm gonna try with some of the other AIs too to see what they can suggest as far as topics to discuss. And eventually we're gonna land on stuff that fits my whole personality and not just some weird. Well, you could talk about alien abductions. You could talk about Florida Man. Why is it always Florida, guys? It's easy. It's easy why it's always Florida. It's because it's southern rednecks in a tropical, like, beach climate. Like, things are going to get crazy there. It's rednecks on the beach. Like, of course, why Florida? Duh. We all know. First, fuck you. I guess I already did Tyler, right? Jim wants to know, who do you want to do the Super Bowl halftime show this year? Jim, would it surprise you if I didn't really give a shit? I don't know. I like when they stick with like the older kind of classic rock stuff, and it's not because I'm an old dude, but it's because, like, how many more years are you going to have to be able to get somebody like The Who or someone like that to be able to do the halftime? So I really like when they do the older bands, the more classic rock bands and stuff like that. You know what band I found myself actually arguing in like defense of lately? And it's kind of weird because I'm not a fan of their music, and that's Green Day. Like, I don't know how you can't deny that these dudes are one of the top bands that have ever existed. Now, hear me out, because I also do not necessarily like their music. Actually, I don't like their music at all. Let me just be real. But they're every, like, 12-year-old boy who is, like, just discovering music's favorite band. And they've been that way for generations. They've never changed. They've always been the preteen boy's favorite band. And there's just something about that that they've been going strong with that for like 30, 40 years now, that you got to take your hat off to them. So, Jim, I would say Green Day. Green Day should do the Super Bowl halftime show, and I am saying that as someone who's not even remotely a fan. I don't like any of their songs. Welcome to Paradise. That kind of, that pop punky, nasally, like, I hate my dad. I hate my mom. Like, I fucking can't stand that kind of music. The Blink 182 horse shit. I was around for it. That was the anthems of my youth growing up. Like, that was in high school, my early days of high school, like later middle school. It was all fucking. It was the fucking punk bands, all the something 87, the random word fan 41, water bottle 22. What's sitting next to me? Notebook 11. That's all you had to do back in the day to come up with a punk band name. Is you just looked at anything that was sitting next to you and then just added a number to it. Microphone 5. It's that simple. But yeah, I don't know, Jim. Green Day seems like a good one, right? I mean, you can't really argue that they're not a great band as far as being able to get an audience, because they can. They have their audience, and somehow their audience has stayed the same age. That's what I like about these Green Day fans, man. They get older. Their fans stay the same age. There you go. What movie is it from, everybody? Dazed and Confused. We all know that. That's shit's hack at this point. Dan wants to know, should there be a harsher penalty for child sex offenders? Yeah, and he also followed it up with, have you ever seen the movie Chicken Hawk? I think I've talked about that on the... I couldn't remember the name of it, but I did say that there was one documentary that was too uncomfortable for me to finish watching, and it was a NAMBLA documentary. That's what it was. It was Chicken Hawk. It was like a one that they produced in the 90s. Yeah, I think there should at least be a harsher, like, minimum sentence for child sex offenders, because some of these people, like, they just get off with, like, probation, and you have to register to be a sex offender. Who cares? That doesn't mean that they can't just walk over to a playground at some point. So, I don't know. I'm right there with you, Dan. I'm guessing you probably saw Chicken Hawk somewhat recently and wanted to... Yeah, it's creepy, right? The weird Chicken Hawk documentary, because it follows this dude who's like a member of NAMBLA who thinks that there's nothing wrong with men and little boys, like, hooking up, and he even, like, is delusional by, like, thinking that little boys are flirting with him and shit in the documentary. I've only got to see about 10 to 15 minutes of it before it skeeved me out too much, where, like, you know, it interviewed one of the dads, and he was like, if he tried anything with one of my kids, I'd probably fucking kill him. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? I would too. And I'm done watching this. I don't think I need to see it anymore. But yeah, Dan, I have seen Chicken Hawk, and it's fucked up. It's one of the very few documentaries that I couldn't finish. There was also that one in Zoo. Zoo I couldn't finish either. I only saw a few, like the one where the dude was talking about wanting to get sloppy seconds after watching his future wife suck off a horse. He was like, I wanted to lean down and get me sloppy seconds. Like, ooh, from her or the horse? Because things are getting weird here. But yeah, I couldn't finish Zoo. I couldn't finish Chicken Hawk. Both of those documentaries were both ones that I could not finish. I got an email sent to planetwnba@gmail.com from somebody who told me a brutal volleyball story. Basically, she was playing volleyball in college, and somebody jumped up and spiked that shit, and it hit some girl directly in the side of the head, and she said that her eye popped out of the fucking socket. Oh, man. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine getting hit with something so hard in your head that your eyeball pops out? I wonder if you can see it. Like, if you can still see, like, if you can, like, look over and see, like, your lips and stuff, like, with your eye dangling out like that, that'd be fucked up. But the worst part about that email that I couldn't forgive myself for is it was sent from someone who signed it Eden A. Sandwich. So their fake name was Eden A. Sandwich, and I couldn't help but focus on that a lot more than the content of their really brutal email. And I love that name, Eden A. Sandwich. I am very jealous. I want you to be a character on this show. I want Eden A. Sandwich to be a regular co-host. Hey, so what do you think about this, Eden A? I think and the stuff in the news, eating a sandwich. That'd be great. I am really jealous of that one. Can I be your brother making a sandwich? I would love to do that. We could be brother and sister co-hosts of this wonderful, weird podcast. This is fucking great. Eating a sandwich. I came up with Dixon Butts as my gay porn star once. Dixon, Dixon, last name Butts. Kind of hack, but I don't come up with fake names very often. Eating a sandwich is a fucking good one. I love it. Kudos to you. Sammy wants to know, you and your wife should do something on Universe of Weirdos now that it's not just one show. I do plan on it. I do have a couple of ideas. I want her to join me on my I Knew Killers segment. I've known a few people in life, grown up around a few people, went to school with a couple of people that have murdered. So I want to do some shows that will highlight that whole situation and maybe, help provide a little bit of closure to me by revisiting that fucked up shit and, maybe reading some details that will help me not hold on to my friendship so romantically. Because, one of these people I still hold in pretty high regard, even though she killed her kid, or at least stood by and let somebody kill her kid. And that shit's fucked up, but I've never had anything but positive experiences with this person. I plan on having my wife on those shows because she's a true crime fan. I'm also kind of working on a thing. I want to do like a weird date nights with her and me. Like I want to do like weird shit and then come on and do a podcast talking about it. Like we have one of those, it's called Connor Prairie. That's kind of by where I live. It's one of those, like, they act like they're still in like the 1600s. Type of things, like The Village from M. Night Shyamalan type of thing. Like, we have one of those. It's pretty close to us. It's within like a 10-minute drive. I want to go. We should go there sometime. I can even like bring my mobile recorder and like record some shit. I think that would be fun. Just other weird shit. Halloween's coming up soon, so obviously it's spooky season, brings in all kinds of good shit that we could do. But yeah, I do plan on doing that, Sammy. You seem to like my wife quite a bit. You give us good feedback every time we do shows together. So yeah, I mean, I think that we should do something on Universe of Weirdos, a regular show. She could be my co-host on I Knew Killers and Weird Date Nights, which are two ideas that I have coming soon. A little bit of preview for you. Anne wants to know, what's the nerdiest thing that you are into? I mean, I'm not necessarily into wrestling, but I know enough of it from watching it and doing this show and interacting with a lot of you fucking nerds. I'm just kidding. I don't really judge any of you too harshly of any of your nerd shit. I do like the wrestling. I see the appeal to it. I don't know, what's the nerdiest thing? It'd have to be comic books. It would have to be. I have a gigantic comic book collection. I know more than just the comic book movies. I know the actual comic book characters, and I know the comic book stories, not just the movie shit, because nothing bothers me more. I have a massive Batman collection, and nothing bothered me more over the years when somebody would tell me, oh, I'm a gigantic Batman fan. And I would ask them what their favorite Batman story was. Oh, yeah, what's your favorite, like, Batman story? I like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. I didn't really like George Clooney. It's like, oh, okay, so you just like the movies. It had nothing to do with you actually reading Batman or liking anything like that. It was just, you're a movie fan. And that's fine. And that's fine, too. But I want to be able to talk Hush with people. I want to be able to talk fucking No Man's Land with some motherfuckers. Talk Dark Knight's Metal. We can talk all kinds of fun shit. Watchmen is my favorite comic book of all time. I know that's a little bit of a hack answer, but Watchmen is for sure my favorite comic book. I even like all the spin-offs that they've done that everybody talks shit on. All the Before Watchmen, the Doomsday Clock, everybody talks shit on that. I liked it all. I liked all of it. I liked the HBO series and everything. I fucking love Watchmen. Super great. Nerdiest thing that I'm into, Anne, is probably comic books. I'm also really looking forward to that Highlander movie reboot because I was a fucking gigantic nerd of the Highlander stuff growing up. Loved the movies. Well, the very first movie. Loved the TV show with Duncan MacLeod. I'm really excited to see what they do with this Henry Cavill stuff because it could be good. It could be good. I'm looking forward to it. This one's super weird. Dave, isn't Howard Stern the biggest douche ever? He made himself by talking anal with strippers, and now he's a woke loser who does bad interviews. What happened? I don't know, man. I haven't listened to Howard Stern in years. I haven't listened to him since he moved to Sirius satellite radio, so that was a really, really long time ago. What happened is he probably was just tired of throwing baloney at asses. He was probably tired of interviewing strippers and Playboy playmates and hey, sweetie, you like taking it in the butthole, sweetie? Hey, let me throw baloney at your ass, sweetheart. Let me see your titties. That stuff's not good radio, right? Like it worked when he had his own TV show on E. But could you imagine I could come on here, like if I brought women on here and was asking them to take their top off? There's no video element to this show, which is a question somebody gave me on here, by the way. Do you ever plan on having a video element to this show? Not necessarily. I don't really want to do that right now. I might in the future. But, like, what's an audio medium when you're doing smut? Like, we're going to throw baloney at these girls' asses and you're going to listen to it. Hey, guys, can you hear her tits? Listen to those boobies. Listen to that vagina. I don't understand. Like, couldn't you just say they're naked? If it's just an audio medium. By the way, guys, I'm recording right now. There's 45 completely hot, naked people. Regardless of what gender you like, they're around me right now, completely naked. So if you like big tits, that's behind me right now as I'm talking. Or if you like a big old dick, that's in the background somewhere too. I don't know. See, you just make shit up. Like, why the fuck do you need to... That's a really weird question, though. Isn't Howard Stern the biggest? I guess he has been in the news recently, right? Because there was, he was renewing his contract and shit. So, okay. Yeah, I get you there. All right. Dave also wanted to know, what kind of car do you drive? It's kind of weird. I drive a Mini Cooper. A blue Mini Cooper. And it's fun because it's a twin-powered turbo engine. It can go really fast. And I don't know. I like it a lot. A lot of people will make fun of it because it's a small car and like you drive a chick car. It's like, dude, my chick car goes 90 miles an hour before I even realize I'm putting on the gas. So what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why that was of interest to you, but yeah, I drive a blue Mini Cooper, buddy. Video element of the podcast. Already answered that. I got a lot of positive feedback on my origins of phrases. A lot of people really liked where I talked to you about where Johnsons came from and why people started calling them boobs. People really liked that show. There's more coming soon. I'm going to do more of those soon. I just need to, kind of compile a lot more because I thought that was going to last. I thought that the list of all of the different naughty phrases that I had was going to last for a lot longer than 15 minutes, but it kind of didn't. So I need to retool that one a little bit, but there is more origins of phrases coming soon. I promise you that. Terry wants to know, have you ever been in a street fight? I sure the fuck have, Terry. I've been in a few of them. It was like my pastime growing up, fighting. That's all that I ever did around the neighborhood that I grew up in, was fight with other kids, swing on bigger kids than me just to see what would happen. I was a reckless, weird fuck. As an adult, I've gotten in a few fights too. Like in college, I punched this guy a few times for disrespecting my girlfriend. I've gotten in a fight before with a guy who purposely dinged my door with his door at a gas station because he thought that I was too close to him, but I wasn't. So we ended up throwing some hands. That wasn't that big of a deal. But the big one for me was when this dude, I don't even know what the fuck went on, but I was driving my car at the time, which, by the way, Dave, the car I was driving at the time was a white Volkswagen Beetle, turbocharged as well. I like small turbocharged cars, Dave. But anyways, Terry, the street fight that I was telling you about, I was in my Volkswagen Beetle and I was stopped at a red light. And the red light was right next to a bar. And there was this dude standing on the sidewalk of the bar, and he had his shirt off. And I didn't know what was going on. And I looked over at him, and he is yelling at me and then runs over and grabs the handle of my door and starts yanking on it like he's trying to get my door open. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Who is this guy and what's he doing? And then I see him turn around and like reach into like this like bag that was sitting down on the sidewalk. He was like reaching in like I thought that he was going to grab something to smash my window out, was where my mind went at the time. In hindsight, I know that's kind of silly, but I thought that he was trying to like grab something to like smash my window out. So what I decided to do was get out of my car and fight this guy before he could grab whatever it is that he was going to grab. So I just got out of my car and said, "Hey, motherfucker, what the fuck you trying to do?" And he like swung on me and I just lit his ass up. Cops came, asked me if I wanted, they really wanted me to press charges on that guy, and I just didn't. Like, look, he got his punishment already. Look at that gigantic hematoma that the dude has on his face. I fucked him up. But yes, Terry, I have been in street fights. I have done martial arts a lot in my life, and it's given me this kind of, I don't want to say ego. It's more of I speak up when I feel like somebody's trying to douche me. And that usually ends with, what the fuck you gonna do about it? What the fuck are you gonna do about it? Type of thing. And, it's not, I don't go around seeking fights. I don't try to fight people, but it's happened a few times. As an adult, it's happened maybe 3 times that I can think of as an adult. But as a kid, it happened a lot because I was a cocky little fuck that knew how to fight. So, whatever. Dan, best Halloween candy. Do you pass it out too? Or do you walk around? Best Halloween candy? I don't know, man. For me, it's always the peanut butter cups or Snickers or anything that has peanut butter in it because my son has a peanut allergy. So, no, I don't normally pass it out. I've passed out candy in the past when my son was too young to go trick-or-treating, and I always did the full candy bars. That was the second part of your question. Were you the douche that did the one at a time, or did you do full-size candy bars, man? Because there aren't that many kids that come through to your house anymore, right? I mean, that's at least something that I've noticed. They all do the trunk or treat stuff where they go to big events. They don't really like walk door to door in neighborhoods anymore. So you only get like, I don't know, a dozen kids if you stay at home and try to pass out candy. So just don't be a cheap bastard. Get yourself a big old full-size candy bar thing. The kids love it. They think that you're a bad motherfucker. And it's an insurance policy for your neighborhood because your shit ain't getting egged. They're not going to egg you after that. It ain't happening. Let's see. So, also, any costume ideas for this year? I don't have a costume for myself. My wife hasn't really talked about what she wants to do yet, but my son is really simple. He's got a red wagon. We got him a black and red striped shirt and his stuffed Hobbs tiger. We're doing Calvin and Hobbes this year. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be super cool. Haven't had the opportunity to really address the Hulk Hogan situation since switching over from our mainly wrestling focused stuff. I personally think that it's sad that Hulk Hogan died. I know he was written off as a racist piece of shit, hard to work with, bad for business type of motherfucker in his later years, but you can't deny the fact that he had a huge impact on pop culture. He had a huge impact on wrestling, and the guy was an icon. You have to at least give a little bit of rest in peace to the old Hulkster. So, also, I've had people asking me about the Charlie Kirk situation that I don't need to talk about that. I saw the video and it was super brutal. I've never heard about the guy. I didn't know anything about any of his politics. The only exposure I've ever had to him was that fucking video of him saying gang violence and then getting shot in the neck. And I was just like, damn, fucking talk about gang violence. Shit. It was a brutal watch. That was a fucking brutal thing to see. I don't suggest anybody watch it. I don't have an opinion on it. And really, I don't really have anything to say. Nothing controversial coming from me with the old Charlie Kirk situation. I have no opinions whatsoever on it. I think that it's sad. I really do think it's sad. I don't have an opinion on him or as a human being or as a political thing. I just, maybe Maybe my advice would be keep your politics to yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because bad things can happen. I do have one other person. Why'd you talk over the lyrics to your one song? I was looking forward to hearing it. Yeah, no problem. I'll play it here at the end to go out with. It's called Lunar Loops. It's an AI song. It's just, again, I have a weird fascination with AI and the different stuff that it can do to help enhance creativity and not necessarily take it over. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to talk about. I'll leave you with that song. You can rate, review, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, 5 stars, wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to be featured on a future Fuck You episode, an FAQ feedback and questions, feel free to email your last chance to evacuate planet Earth before it is recycled at planetwnba@gmail.com. Again, I am jcraft247 on Twitter /X. I am Planet WNBA on Instagram, and I am very soon going to make a Facebook fan page for this one, just so there's another avenue that you guys can reach out to me. And be sure to listen to Planet W. That's my WNBA podcast. The Fever, my hometown team, are doing very well in the WNBA playoffs, so if you want to catch up on all things women's basketball, feel free to hit me up on there and enjoy my AI-generated pop song, Lunar Loops. Tyler, he wanted me to play it. Was disappointed that I talked over. If you like this one, dude, look up somebody like Sia or Sia or however. It's just like, I don't know. This song gives me a very modern pop song feel to it. So enjoy. Peace out, everybody. We will see you next time. Blasting off. Peace.
Like flight.
Same bad for an AI-generated song. I'll say that. Not the vision I had for the style when I wrote the lyrics, but still pretty good.
Paper dreams fold into creams, flying through my tangled brain. Colors drip like melting rain. Upside down inside my head, floating free where fears have fled. Round and round the stars collide, loop-de-loop in my own mind. Lunar loops where sanity hides.
Craziness feels just like flight.
Upside down your head, floating free where fears have fled. Round and round the stars collide, loop-de-loop in my own mind. Lunar loops where sanity hides. Craziness feels just like flight. Echoes hum in a liquid sky. Reality whispers goodbye, goodbye. Carousel of chaos spins. Madness grins and pulls me in.
I was listening to a lot of Coheed and Cambria when I wrote these lyrics. I think it tells. I think it shows. Anyways. Peace.